There is no Palestine. There is no Palestine people, and there is no Palestine. The lands that today constitute the State of Israel, Judea, Samaria, Gaza, and the Golan are parts of Israel, the sole land of the Jews. The Jewish claim to the land of Israel is not an ordinary nationalist one. It is not merely derived from the fact that once Jews were somewhere and there where the majority ruled the land under their own government, and that never was the land empty of Jews. All this is true, but this is not the main claim of the Jewish people. Jewish refusal to give up lands is sometimes based on the logical and self-evident fact that to give up lands to a people that has constantly threatened to destroy you is sheer madness, and the Jews dare not trust to their kindly intentions in the future. This too is true, but again, it is not the reason for the Jews remaining on the lands liberated after June 1967. The fundamental and real Jewish claim to the land of Israel is based on the fact that there is a divine grant of the land to the Jewish people, and that God gave the Holy Land to the Jewish people in order that it be holy and create a holy society therein. No other arguments, Jewish or Arab, have any relevance to the essential fact that the one who created the entire world and who possesses it has the power and the right to give it to whomever he chooses. And this is what was done more than 3,000 years ago at the time of Moses and Joshua. This is what remains inalienable right today. The land of Israel, in its biblical boundaries, is the divine decree to the Jewish people. It belongs to the Jewish people in its entirety, and no alien trespass has any merit or chance of success. Zionism is not one more movement of national liberation. It is not one more like all the rest, any more than the Jewish people is one more like all the rest. The believing Jew, as the believing Christian, knows that there is a divine pledge, repeated again and again in the prophets of the Bible, that the Jew will be brought back from the exile, gathered from the corners of the earth, and brought home to the land of Israel. The believing Jew and believing Christian know that this resurrection of the Jewish state and this return of the Jew to his home is a necessary precondition for the coming of the final redemption and the establishment of the kingdom of God. Zionism, the establishment of the state of Israel, the return of millions of Jews home, the miraculous victories of the few over many Arabs, the liberation of Judea, Samaria, Gaza, and the Golan, the return of Jewish sovereignty over the holy city and Temple Mount are all part of the divine pledge and its fulfillment. There can be no Palestine, a name that was invented by the Romans to symbolize the end of the Jewish people, for that would be to diminish and to force back the miracle of God and to go against the divine era of redemption. There can be no Palestine, for if there is, then there is no Israel. In all this, we differ fundamentally with the government of Israel, which recognizes a Palestinian people after years of refusing to do so, that there are moderate Palestinians who will both challenge the PLO thesis and leadership, as well as permanently accept the Jewish state, believes that peace with the Arabs by concessions is possible, is prepared to give up parts of the land of Israel to the Arabs, and refuses to allow Jews to settle unrestrictedly in any part of the land of Israel under Jewish control. We differ with this stance and maintain that the government of Israel, through its short-sighted, timid, and vacillating policy, not only destroys the vision and the dream of redemption, but brings potential disaster down on the heads of the Jewish people. We maintain that there must be an immediate program of declaring: there are no meaningful Arab moderates who will permanently accept any Jewish state of any size. The ultimate Arab goal is the elimination of any Jewish state. There is no Palestine people or Palestine entity. All of the land of Israel belongs exclusively to the Jewish people. If there are those who wish to create something known as Palestine, they are welcome to do so in Jordan, which in itself is a fictitious state created by the imperialist British. by cutting away in 1921 the eastern part of the land of Israel. The Arabs who call themselves Palestinians had the opportunity to create a Palestine in a far larger part of the land of Israel, but refused to do so. They lost the chance forever. And if they refuse to create a state in Jordan now, but insist upon war, they will lose again and lose Jordan in the process, because while we will never begin a war for those parts of the land of Israel, now under foreign rule, should the Arabs begin that war, and we liberate still other areas for the land of Israel, then those will never be given up either. The Arabs today sit in large areas of the land of Israel, promised by God to us. For the sake of peace, we are prepared to go to a peace conference with maps to show which lands we claim as our own, but declare that we are prepared to declare a state of non-belligerency and not demand those lands back. In exchange for that concession and as the price they should pay for their aggression of 1948, 56, 67, 73, the Arabs must recognize the state of Israel in the area it now controls. Immediate, unlimited and unrestricted Jewish settlement in any and every part of the land of Israel, including Judea, Samaria, Gaza and the Golan. There is no Palestine people and there is no Palestine. We are not dismayed by the Arabs. We are not shocked. We are not confused. Above all, we are not fooled by them, not by their vague and tantalizing hints of recognition, not by their aura of moderation, and not by their ingenious effort to create a camp of extremists versus moderates. We are not fooled by those who for 44 years have threatened to do away with the Jewish state, as in 1967, before they were taught to be more discreet and allow the world a face-saving way to allow Israel to die. We're not fooled by those who in 1956, before Jews had liberated the lands the Arabs claimed constitute a major cause, took arms from Soviets and prepared to wipe out the Israel of that time. We're not fooled by those who in 1947 turned down even the pathetic, grotesque, tiny state that the United Nations gave the Jews. We're not fooled by those who rioted against and killed Jews in 1921, 29, 1936, 37, 38. We're not fooled. There are no moderate Arabs. There are only clever and less clever, patient and impatient. The final solution for all is the same, the elimination of any Jewish state. And so we repeat, there is no Palestine people and there is no Palestine. They are Arabs, part of the Arab nation that lives in many countries, and to where the Arabs of the land of Israel must and will be repatriated.